Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. It's another snowy day, so another good day of lighting and another time of inspiration for me. And also I'm having some tea. So if you happen to have some tea, feel free to join me. And if not, that's okay. I'll just drink my tea while I'm talking. Today I wanted to talk with you guys about something that I deeply love and find so much inner alignment with. And it, as I've begun experimenting with it, I have also begun finding the power of living in my true self, and how this tool of human design can empower me even more to live in that practice and experiment. So, this is just the beginning. This is just a taste, but I do want to kind of um, share a bit about it. So, it is an energetic blueprint of your aura, your true self. And it was a blend of astrology, chakras, kind of unofficially chakras. I'm not trained on it yet, so I don't have full clarity on how it's not or how it is chakras. But it has 9 energy centers instead of 7, and 7 is what the chakras represent, or 7 energy centers. And so it has that, Kabbalah and I Ching, and it blends all of that together to create this beautiful blueprint of your true self. And it's a little different because it is not necessarily something that is meant for you to just acknowledge here. It is something that you're meant to acknowledge here. It's something that you're meant to acknowledge in your movements every single day. Your every single step that you make, it is an opportunity for you to experiment and integrate that into those parts of yourself. So and this is all just my perspective. This is all just the experiment that I've been doing with my own blueprint, and also the research that I've done, because I do tend to geek out on things. If you like my pasta sauce there, but if you ask any people in my life, it is a regular conversation about human design. And because it truly, for me, it has empowered me to once again live in my true self. So the basic, if you want to start from the basics, you can go on a website, which I'll tag a couple of different websites down below, and just put in your birth information, similar to astrology, and it will come up with this big body graph and then numbers on the side with some icons. And but you'll scroll down. Typically, it'll be down below, and it's a bunch of information. And the main first beginning things that I recommend starting out with, and a lot of other people recommend starting out with, is your aura type, your strategy, and then your authority. And you can take it one at a time. Whatever kind of sticks out to you and resonates with you, start experimenting with that. Start looking into that. Okay, what does it feel like for me to be a generator, or what does it feel like to be a projector, like how they describe a projector? And then of course do research if you feel led to do research. But this is your path, and you get to determine what this looks like. And for me, I was so curious to see, well, how does this fit with me? Does it fit with me? And as more time went on and I was just experimenting, it says, this is my head. It says that I am a sacral responder and that I have to listen to my yes. Okay, what does that feel like whenever I have a yes? And I knew exactly what it felt like. As soon as I acknowledged it and questioned it, that's whenever the feeling came up in me. And that's whenever it's like, okay, since I know what that feels like, let me start trying to listen to it more. Let me start asking it questions to see how I respond and see if I can get that big yes more and more in my life. And the more that I've done that, the more that it comes back into my life. And it's been really fucking awesome. But anyway, so take the test, see what your type is. So there are 4 different types. There is a generator, which is what I am. There is a manifesting generator, which is it's kind of similar, but it's kind of a blend of another one as well. And then there is a manifester, and there is a projector, and there is a reflector. And they each have a different strategy to approach life, meaning that their aura is naturally this way. And sometimes our mind can believe that we're one way, but we're actually this other way. And it takes some time to figure out, like, am I really that way? Like, a generator and a manifesting generator strategy is to respond to life. It is not meant to initiate anything. We're meant to get excited or find joy or want to see things and initiate, like, to respond. Ultimately, it's about responding. Things coming across our path, and for us to be like, oh, yes, that's it. Versus another type, a manifester, who is meant to initiate. But their aura is more so, what's the word that they used? Is closed and repelling, because they are meant to start their own thing. Their aura is naturally just present. And so it's very interesting, the different, they're also meant to inform, which is an initiation mentality, because whenever you initiate something, you need to communicate, because you can't do it by yourself. You can't do anything by yourself, but you're meant to inform. You're not meant to inform everyone. That's a whole nother thing, which that'll be another video. But so that is just kind of a taste. So your mind might think that you are one way, and it might take some internal self-awareness and some practice to kind of find the inspiration of, oh wait, things flow. I feel a lot better whenever I'm not initiating, or whenever I am responding. My life feels really fucking good whenever I'm doing this and not this. And for me, that's what I realize, is whenever I am not initiating my dreams, or not initiating relationships with people, and I'm truly just flowing and responding with what comes across my path, that is when it feels so good, so damn good. So this is why I'm sharing it, because it has brought so much flow, joy, and ease, satisfaction into my life. And that kind of curtails into the next thing. So whenever I am living from my strategy, which is to respond, I am feeling satisfaction. And that is a signpost, as some call it, a signpost for me living in my true self. If I'm not listening to that, if I am not choosing to respond, and if I'm wanting to initiate, or if my pain or my trauma is making, like unconsciously making me do something, then frustration, from experience, because this is an experiment, from frustration comes, and anger comes, and I'm like, why can't it be this way? And I am able, because of this experiment, because of this practice, I'm able to recognize, I feel frustration right now. This means that I'm not living in my true self. So let me slow down and let me recalibrate and figure out how I can find satisfaction. What do I need to change in my mindset? What do I need to change in my behavior to find deep satisfaction, flow, joy, ease in my life? So with each with each aura, they have that strategy. They also have signposts. And those signposts help bring clarity to you living in your true self, your true authentic self versus your not true authentic self. And it's an experiment. So if you continue to find that your life is very frustrating, or that you're living in a frustrating place, that's okay. That is totally okay. And that might be frustrating to hear, but just know that the fact that you're even aware of it is a big thing. And it's because of that awareness, you're taking the first step towards experiencing satisfaction. For me, that's what mine would be. Whereas the other ones, those are, so we've talked about generator, because I'm going to talk about myself because that's my story. But so generator is to respond. And this is also for manifesting generators. So if you take this test, if you put your information in and it comes up and says you are a manifesting generator or a generator, right below that it's going to say that your strategy is to respond. And then your signpost, or I don't remember how they phrase it, but basically your signpost for, you living in your authentic self versus not living in your authentic self is satisfaction or frustration. Then there are also, as I've already mentioned before, manifestors. Those are meant to initiate or inform. And that's their strategy. Their natural aura is, once again, closed and repelling. And because they are not meant to magnetize, they are meant to initiate. They are meant to have this energy of pursuit and to inform those that are meant to hear it. Some are not meant to hear it, and that's why those people get repelled by rejecting them, which is kind of painful. But that's a whole nother topic we can talk about another time. But the signpost for manifestors, whenever they're living in their true self, they experience deep peace. Whenever they're not living in their true self, they experience anger. And so those are the three main ones that I've kind of mentioned already. The other two that I have not mentioned a lot are projectors and reflectors. Projectors have an aura that is focused and absorbing. So they do not have a lot of energy centers that are defined within them. Whenever you go, once again, type in your information and you'll see the body graph, the first thing you'll see is a bunch of shapes and colors, potentially. And if those shapes are not colored in, those are the energy centers. If those are not colored in, that means it's undefined. And projectors tend to have sections that are undefined. I don't want to say a lot because some of them do have a lot, but there are specific energy centers that are also motor centers that generate energy. And a generator. Generators have them, and projectors do not have a energy center that has a motor in it that's defined. So they might have defined centers, but there is a center or two or three in them that is not defined, that helps give them energy. So instead of generating the energy within them, they also absorb the energy from others, and they focus. So it's a beautiful gift. I love projectors. And their strategy for life is to wait for the invitation. And whenever they are living from their true self, they are experiencing success, however success feels for them. Or whenever they are not living in their true self, they feel bitterness. So I need some tea. Oh, I love tea. This is green tea. Okay, so the last one, this video is getting a bit long for me, so we're going to make this last one a bit quicker. It is the most rare one, and it's called a reflector. They have zero defined centers in their body graph. So they are not even absorbing, but they are literally reflecting the energy of those around them. And so their natural aura is resistant and sampling. So that means that they are sampling those energies around them. They're just kind of testing the water, samples, like an experiment once again. But it's kind of resistant, so there's not a lot of depth to it necessarily. And we're just talking about the aura. We're not talking about their emotions or anything like that. We're just talking about their initial energetic frequency, the vibe of this person. The sign so we've got their signpost. We've got to do the strategy. So their strategy for approaching life is to wait a lunar cycle. So that's 28 days. And that's in making a decision as well, but that in everything, it's wait a lunar cycle because of how openly their energy centers are, and they're reflecting so much. Also, if the signpost that they are living in alignment with their true self is surprise, however that feels on the inside of them, however they define that, however it feels. And the signpost that they are not living in their true self is disappointment. So those are the final ones. I'm going to go do a few other things. But thank you for joining me on this a little bit longer than I was expecting journey talking about human design. And I am sure it's going to be a fun journey. Let me know what your thoughts are as you take the test and even with the video.